I will call this meeting of the Upshur County Commission to order. We will begin with a moment of silent meditation and prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you like some water?
No, I'm good, thank you. Good morning. The County Commission of Upshur County, West Virginia held their regular meeting at the Courthouse Annex on Thursday, September 2015 at 9 a.m. J.C. Rafferty called the meeting to order. Present were J.C. Rafferty, Commissioner, Troy Brady, Commissioner, Terry Cotwright, Commissioner, Terry Wallace, County Administrator, Tabitha Perry, Assistant County Administrator, and Jacqueline Dinklocker, Secretary. The meeting began with a moment of silent meditation and prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. All motions passed unanimously unless otherwise stated. A motion by Troy Brady, second by Terry Cotwright. The Commission approved the regular meeting minutes of September 3, 2015 as submitted. J.C. Rafferty reviewed the terms of the request for the financing of the purchase of a police vehicle for the Upshur for the Sheriff's Office as was discussed at the August 27, 2015 meeting of the Upshur County Commission. 2 of the 3 vehicles approved will be purchased from the Sheriff's/law enforcement funds. The Commission will finance the 3rd vehicle through a loan from Progressive Bank in the amount of $25,788, which includes a recording fee of $15 and a loan fee in the amount of $140. The interest rate is 2.69% over 3 years, with payments being made annually. After discussion on motion by Troy Brady, second by Terry Cotwright, the Commission approved the financing terms and authorized the President to sign the loan documents for the purchase. Craig Presar, WVU Extension Service 4-H Youth Development Assistant Professor, appeared before the Commission and reviewed a proclamation which designates October 4th through 10th as National 4-H Week. After discussion on motion by Troy Brady, second by Terry Cotwright, the Commission approved and authorized the Commission to sign the proclamation. Mr. Presar announced the 4-H Fun Fair will be held at Jawbone Park in Buchanan on October 4th from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. The event will feature activity booths, food, games, and movie. Mr. Presar also provided a flyer with information concerning the SPIN, that's a Special Interest Club, and requested volunteer participants willing to share their passion for a minimum of 6 sessions. Mr. Presar suggested possible themes for sessions such as fishing, photography, or any interest that someone might come and instruct and or discuss with members. After discussion on motion by Troy Brady, second by Terry Cotwright, the Commission approved the reappointment of Rodney Rollinson as Upshur County Enhanced Emergency Telephone Advisory Board member. Mr. Rollinson's term expiration will be June 30, 2018. After discussion on motion by Troy Brady, second by Terry Cotwright, the Commission approved the change of meeting time for the Upshur County Safe Structures and Sites Ordinance Board from 4:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the 2nd Thursday of each month. After discussion on motion by Troy Brady, second by Terry Cotwright, the Commission approved the registration sign-in sheet for persons wishing to address the County Commission per West Virginia Code 6-9A-3. After discussion on motion by Terry Cotwright, seconded by Troy Brady, the Commission approved the request from Guy Derrico, Upshur County resident, for the removal of the road name of Slater Lane for a previously named private driveway. After meeting all guideline requirements and payment of required fees, which includes a non-refundable $50 deposit, the application will come back to the Commission for final approval of the removal of the road name. After discussion, a motion by Troy Grady, seconded by Terry Cutright, the Commission approved and authorized the President to sign a lease agreement by and between Q4 Holdings LLC and Lewis Upshur Community Corrections for the rental of office space located at 31 North Spring Street, Pecan, West Virginia, at the rate of $800 per month. J.C. Rafferty reviewed a request from Buck Edwards, Project Manager and Deputy Director of Emergency Management, for cash contribution for the Hampton, Idaho project. The requested donation is to be used for the purpose of providing stone for the parking lot area and boat ramp. After discussion, a motion by Terry Cutright, seconded by Troy Grady, the Commission approved a donation in the amount of $1,000. Bob Post, American Legion representative, appeared before the Commission and provided a review of several proclamations. Mr. Post acknowledged the presence and military service of veterans Morgan Perry and Miles Hogg. After discussion, the Commission approved and authorized the President to sign the following proclamations. The Labor Day, September 7th. Recognition of the historic significance of Labor Day. A day to remember. Recognition and remembrance of the victims of the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks on the nation. Community Proclamation, the American Legion Day. Designates September 16, 2015 as American Legion Day in Upshur County and recognizes Legionnaires and their contributions to our community. The National POW/MIA Recognition Day honors the commitment and sacrifices made by this nation's prisoners of war and those who are still missing in action and their families, and recognizes September 18, 2015 as National POW/MIA Recognition Day. After discussion, excuse me, after discussion on motion by Terry Cutright, seconded by Troy Grady, the Commission approved the time for trick or treat to be set for Saturday, October 31, 2015, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in Upshur County. After discussion on motion by Terry Cutright, seconded by Troy Grady, the Commission approved the resignation of Darla Riffle as tax deputy in the office of the sheriff, effective September 14, 2015. After discussion on motion by Terry Cutright, seconded by Troy Grady, the Commission approved the advertisement/job posting for the full-time benefited position of tax deputy in the office of the Upshur County Sheriff. Applications must be received on or before the close of business on Friday, October 2, 2015. After discussion on motion by Troy Grady, seconded by Terry Cutright, the Commission approved the resignation of Evan Thomas as Program Director of the 26th Judicial Circuit Community Corrections, effective September 24, 2015. After discussion on motion by Troy Grady, seconded by Terry Cutright, the Commission approved the resignation of Ashley Brooke Ware as Case Manager for the 26th Judicial Circuit Community Corrections, effective September 11, 2015. After discussion on motion by Terry Cutright, seconded by Troy Grady, the Commission approved the employment of Amanda Ray as part-time administrative assistant in the E911 addressing management office as requested by Terry Jo Bennett, coordinator. Effective date of employment is September 21, 2015 at the rate of $9 per hour. Ms. Ray will work no more than 19.5 hours per week. After discussion on motion by Troy Grady, seconded by Terry Cutright, the Commission approved Catherine Riley, Elena Wright, Natalie Parkins, and Elaine Ashman as volunteers for the Lewis Upshur Animal Control Facility. After discussion on motion by Terry Cutright, seconded by Troy Grady, the Commission approved Matthew LaRusso and Ryan Rado as volunteers for the Office of Emergency Management. J.C. Rafferty reviewed the following for your information items. Number 1, correspondence from Paul Maddox, Jr., P.E., Secretary of Transportation, Commissioner of Highways, providing an update regarding the June 26, 2015 request for the installation of a traffic control light at the intersection of Keesley Mill Road and Route 33 in Upshur County. 2, correspondence from Tabitha Perry, Assistant County Administrator, to Paul Chapman regarding an extension of the previously set deadline to bring his property into compliance with the State Structures and Sites Ordinance. 3, correspondence from April Keating, Mountain Lakes Preservation Alliance, Chris Hale, Friends of Water, and Angie Rosser, West Virginia Rivers Coalition, concerning Virginia Galleon's presentation, which was conducted on September 3, 2015 during the regularly scheduled Upshur County Commission meeting. 4, correspondence from Mary Jo Thompson, West Virginia Development Office Representative, regarding the submission of Land and Water Conservation Fund applications for 50% funding of outdoor recreation projects for the 2015 fiscal year funding cycle. 5, Upshur County Family Resource Network newsletter, September 2015. 6, Upshur County Extension Office newsletter, September and October 2015. 7, a James W. Curry Public Library newsletter, September 2015. 8, a dog report, August 2015. 9, cat report, August 2015. 10, building permits, August 2015. 11, Atlantic Coast Pipelines project update, September 2015. 12, agendas and/or notice of meetings as listed. 13, meeting minutes as listed. 14, meetings as listed. 15, appointments needed or upcoming as listed. Carolyn Crozier, Regent, and other representatives of the Elizabeth Zane chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution appeared before the Commission, and Ms. Crozier read the proclamation, Constitution Week 2015, which designates September 17 through 23, 2015 as Constitution Week in Upshur County. Ms. Crozier advised that the DAR will distribute 220 copies of the Constitution to the Buchanan Upshur High School and encouraged all citizens to read the document. The Commission approved all invoices for payment. The Commission approved all vacation orders. The Commission approved the following settlements as listed. The Commission approved the following requests to attend meetings as listed. The meeting approved the following consolidation of land tracts as listed. The Commission recessed at 12 p.m. The Commission attended the meeting of the Upshur County Department Supervisors. The Commission attended the meeting of the Upshur County Policy Board. The Commission meeting reconvened at 2:55 p.m. With no further business, on motion by J.C. Rafferty, second by Terry Cutright, the Commission adjourned at 2:55 p.m.
Thank you, Jackie. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes as read? If not, I would request a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have a series of appointments this afternoon, or this morning. First, Mr. Grandusky, 11 o'clock scheduled, has requested that his appearance be postponed until 2 weeks from today. October 8th. 11:15, we have Margaret Riggs with the Community Education Outreach Services, that's CEOS's, presentation of West Virginia Breast Cancer Awareness Day and Breast Cancer Awareness Month proclamation. At 11:30, we have Bill Byrne with Take Communications LLC, review and approve of telecommunications system for E911 Communication Center and Office of Emergency Management. 11:45, we have Debbie Anderson, Human Resource Development Foundation, a presentation on stream cleanup. It's about 11 o'clock, so we have 15 minutes before our next scheduled appointment, so I'll go down to the items for discussion, action, and approval. First, we have correspondence from John Ritchie, American Statistical Association, ASA, and member of American Academy of Actuaries, that's MAAA, of Menard Consulting Incorporated, regarding actuarial consulting services in connection with Government Accounting Standards Board 45 financial reporting requirements. Fee for the fiscal year 2015 valuation is $1,900. Approval and signature of agreement between Menard Consulting and the Upshur County Commission. Is there a motion to approve that signature of the contract and for the President of the Commission to sign same?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next we have approval and signature of employer mandate reporting services contract with MZQ Consulting LLC to prepare and file Form 1094-C and Form 1095-C with the IRS on behalf of the Upshur County Commission and to provide an electronic file of the appropriate Form 1095-Cs to the Upshur County Commission for distribution to employees. Total estimated cost for 2015 is $3,520, and this is a new budget item the County Commission has responsibility for based on the Affordable Care Act, if I'm not mistaken. We have to file one of these for each individual employee with the Internal Revenue Service. Failure to comply with this would be excessively ruinous to the county in terms of fines. So do I have a request for approval of the contract and have the President of the Commission to sign the contract?
So moved. Second.
All in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval and signature of Courthouse Facilities Improvement Authority resolution and grant application in the amount of $87,336 to repair and or replace the roof that surrounds the dome on the courthouse. This is a grant that hopefully will be approved on, and we can make that repair at some point in the near future. Do I have a motion to authorize the signature on that grant request?
Tracy, one moment before you approve that. As you'll remember, last week you approved to send, well, we sent in the grant unsigned for review,
Right.
and the grant committee has provided feedback, and they recommended that we insert a contingency fund in the budget, and we have done that. And so the new budget is $101,614. We received that information after the agenda had been sent out on Monday, so we could not make the correction.
What was that 101?
101,614.
Yes, and you'll see the itemized budget on page 21 of your agenda.
So moved.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have correspondence from Evan C. Thomas, Program Director of the 26th Judicial Circuit Community Corrections, requesting Jerry Lewis, part-time Case A, be promoted to full-time Case A at his current wage rate of $10.07 per hour, effective September 14, 2015. Is there a motion to approve that request?
So moved.
That letter,
All in favor say aye.
one correction, that letter actually came from Rodney Rawlinson, the project director / home confinement supervisor.
Okay, well, I was going to ask that because Mr. Evans resigned last week. Come on
Well,
in,
it's
Margaret.
effective today.
Yes. Come on in, ladies. See? All in pink. I know what that means. Even Mr. Preser is in pink.
That's right.
Pretty in pink. I think there was a movie a number of years ago. So is there a motion to approve the appointment?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next we have correspondence from Joyce Harris Thacker, Family Resource Director, requesting the appointment of Lori D. Eldridge Harvey as part-time FRN Director at the rate of $19.50 per hour, effective September 28, 2015. Upon approval, Lori Eldridge Harvey will work no more than 19.5 hours per week. The addition processed through the Upshur County Commission payroll, and the funds are reimbursed to the Upshur County Commission through the West Virginia Department of Human Health and Human Resources. There's so many of these organizations that sometimes get confused. Bureau of Children and Families, FRN, which is Family Resource Network, grant on a quarterly basis. In essence, what that means is the county does not set the wage rate. We basically are the means by which the payment is made after funds are paid to us, we pay out the funds and all of the expenses reimbursed to the county by DHHR. Number 6, we have approval of advertisement for part-time and full-time E911 telecommunicator dispatch positions at the starting salary of $11 per hour. Applications are being accepted, however, positions may not be immediately available. The purpose for this is to create a pool of interested candidates who will be available for interview and training if they pass the requirements. So we have the approval request. First of all, I have to go back. I don't know if I did the correspondence. I don't know if it requires any approval for
Number 5, it
for-
does.
Does not require.
It does.
It does require. Okay. Is there approval for the county to act as payroll agent for the FRN director for salary and wages and benefits?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. That's what happens, we have so many people here in the crowd, I get nervous. Okay, we have number 6, which is approval of advertisement for part-time and full-time E911 dispatchers, which I've already stated. Do we have approval for that advertisement to be placed?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Okay, we now still have about 10 minutes, 7 or 8 minutes for the next program, so let's continue down to information items. We have correspondence from Jeffrey Fleck, Executive Director of the State of West Virginia Consolidated Public Retirement Board, providing a preliminary estimate of the employer contribution rate in order to assist with the budgeting process. The estimated employer contribution percentage will increase, that'd be fiscal 19, for 2016, fiscal year.
Fiscal year 17, you're in
17,
fiscal year
I'm
16
16
now.
right now, actually, yeah, okay. That is confusing as well. Increase from 13.5% to 14% effective July 1, 2016. Office, once the official contribution rate is determined, a letter will be sent to the Upshur County Commission. Next, we have correspondence from Tabitha Perry, Assistant County Administrator to Public Service District members regarding the vacancy on the Source Water Protection Committee. The Source Water Protection Committee meetings are held on the first Monday of each month at 3:30 p.m. at City Hall in Buchanan. We have correspondence from Joe Scarberry, Supervisor, Office of Land and Streams, Division of Natural Resources, granting the Upshur County Commission for a period of 1 year a right of entry for the purpose of constructing a 10-foot by 60-foot stream access ramp along the Buchanan River, Buchanan District, Upshur County, West Virginia. This is associated with the vote which was placed at the Ivanhoe Hampton location that's been discussed previously.
Is that something we'll have to apply for every year?
I would not
No.
think so, because once the construction is complete, I think that takes care of it.
Oh,
Next, we have correspondence from Tabitha Perry, Assistant County Administrator, to Dr. Stankus, Principal of Union Elementary School, providing the students with an update regarding the request for the installation of a traffic signal at the intersection of Peasley Mill Road, Route 33 in Upshur County, West Virginia. By way of background, there was going back about 2 months, I guess, about now, students at Union District School had requested the County Commission support a petition to be forwarded to the Department of Transportation for consideration for a traffic signal to be placed at the intersection of Peasley Mill and Route 33. The basis for that was that there had been a traffic fatality at that location, which was the grandfather of one of the students at that school. We had sent that on with our recommendation. Approval was made by the Commission to adopt their petition and their recommendation. It went to the Department of Transportation. We received notification last week, I believe it was, from Mr. Maddox, Secretary of Transportation, that they were going to conduct a 40-day, 60-day study, 45-day study of the traffic pattern at that intersection to assist them in determining whether or not a traffic signal would be appropriate. And I might add that said at the same time that the Commission and employees agreed that the idea that young adults or young children, not adults even at that point, would address county government is important. And I think it's a good lesson in civics and they should be proud of themselves. The teachers and the people that instruct the students and the parents also should be very proud of that class. So we'll see how that petition ultimately turns out. We have about 5 minutes left. We have correspondence from Jacob E. Rieger, Judge of the 26th 26th Judicial Circuit, apprising the Upshur County Commission of concerns he received regarding the accessibility of the courtroom and the need to ensure compliance with Americans with Disabilities Act. Basically, that letter brings to the attention of the Commission certain structural limitations which are present in the courtroom, which will present wheelchair access. So we have designated our facilities manager to look at that issue and to remedy the situation. So I assume that in some short period of time that issue will be resolved. So make that courtroom accessible to wheelchair bound individuals. Okay, next we have adoption of financial transactions August 1st, 2015 through August 31st, 2015. Do we need to make a motion on that? I wouldn't think. We have Upshur County E91 Communications Center reports for the month of August. We have statewide transportation improvement program, STIP, fiscal year 2014-2019 program amendment. We have agendas or notices of meetings. We have meeting minutes, and we have meetings that are scheduled or have been scheduled for the month of September by the various boards that the Commission has representation. Many of the people don't realize that most people think that the Commission only operates on Thursday, maybe between 9 and noon or something on those lines, but I can assure you that each of us are assigned about a half a dozen boards that we meet on a regular basis with during each month. And also the administrators are assigned to various boards as well. So we're always looking for people who are interested in serving on a variety of boards as well. I know that you were on the ETAP board for a while, and that was...
Enjoyed it,
immensely. But it's good to serve your community in that way. Those are jobs that are non-compensated. It's a volunteer work.
And we missed you. We would like to have you back. If you decide you'd like to come back.
well, if what I'm planning works out, I might be able to do that.
Very good, Betty.
I'll mention that at the next board meeting.
Thank you.
We have a tabled item, which is the Upshur County Commercial Dog Breeding Operations, Upshur County Commercial Dog Breeder Permit, application of West Virginia Commercial Breeder biannual checklist. That was tabled on September 3rd because the legislation which would enact that is still pending by the state legislature. Am I correct on that?
The state legislature has passed a legislation according to the fees, but you have to draft an ordinance
Right.
that would state the ramifications of not complying. And to my knowledge, no other county has done that thus far, so it's going to be tabled for a while before we can work with a few other counties to draft an
Make
ordinance.
sure we're not standing out there and charging more than needs to be charged or less than should be charged.
Well, the real issue is if you tell someone they have to pay a fee, but nothing happens if they don't pay the fee, then obviously they're not going to pay.
If there's an enforcement mechanism.
Right.
And the next regular meeting of the Upshur County Commission will be on October 1, 2015 at 9 o'clock. It is now exactly 11:15. Isn't that an amazing coincidence? So you have Margaret Riggs with her crew to represent the Community Education Outreach Services program, the presentation of West Virginia Breast Cancer Awareness Day and Breast Cancer Awareness Month proclamation. Margaret, would you or someone from your group be here to read the proclamation? Present the proclamation? We've been drafted again.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Morning, Craig.
Again, I'm Craig Preeser, the WVU Extension Agent for Upshur County, and one of the wonderful parts of my job is I get to work with the CEOS program here in Upshur County. And one of the big projects that Upshur County CEOS has taken on is breast cancer awareness. And we have brought to you this morning a proclamation we'd like for you to sign proclaiming this October 5th Breast Cancer Awareness Day, and also October to be Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So with your permission, I'll go ahead and read the proclamation. In 2015, an estimated 1,360 West Virginia women will be diagnosed with breast cancer, and approximately 276 women will die from the disease. Breast cancer continues to be a leading cause of cancer-related deaths among West Virginia women. A woman has about a 1 in 8 or a 12% chance of developing breast cancer in her lifetime, and about a 1 in 36, a 3% chance of dying from the disease. Currently, the best method to reduce deaths due to breast cancer is through early detection of the disease. Women age 50 and older should have a mammogram at least every 2 years. Women ages 40 to 49 should talk with their healthcare provider about their screening schedule. Clinical breast exams by a physician or nurse are recommended every 3 years for women in their 20s and 30s, and every year for women 40 and over. Breast self-exam, or BSE, is an option for women starting in their 20s. Women should be told about the benefits and limitations of BSE. Clinical breast exams, breast self-exams, and mammograms can save lives. Women should talk to their healthcare provider about their individual screening schedule. In recognition of the important life-saving early detection practices available for breast cancer, we, the Commissioners of Upshur County, do hereby proclaim October 5, 2015 as West Virginia Breast Cancer Awareness Day and October 2015 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We urge all Upshur County women to become aware that they are at risk for developing breast cancer and to discuss screening with their healthcare providers.
Thank you, Craig. Is there a motion to approve the proclamation?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. I do have one question. I know that there was some issue that came up in the last year or two regarding the recommendation of the frequency, and that there was regarding insurance carriers to provide breast cancer examination in the doctor's office, and that there was some controversy over the timing, that they were trying to reduce the number of examinations available to women at a certain point in time. I kind of think that's, in my opinion, at the time it came up, I thought it was, again, simply a cost-cutting factor, but to me, that's not the excuse. That shouldn't enter into it. I mean, public health is much more important than that. So, please laud your efforts, because that's certainly something very serious that we need to address. We finally are getting around to addressing. Well, would you like to have a photograph taken? Okay, it is now 11:30. We'll have our next scheduled appointment. It'll be Mr. Burns, Bill Burns from Tate Communications LLC, to review and approve our communications system for E911 Communications Center and Office of Emergency Management. Mr. Burns?
Hi.
You have the floor.
Thank you. Bill Burns, Tate Communications. A few weeks ago, we were called to go and take a look at the phone system at the 911 center. The system at the 911 center, and most 911 centers, there's two parts. You have the very sophisticated 911 equipment that tracks addresses and things like that, radios and so forth. That connects to basically an in-house phone system, similar to what you have here. Upon getting there, I found out that the system that they currently have is no longer manufactured, out of date, can't get parts and so forth. So we looked at, okay, what it would take to replace that system. But then in communicating with the other folks in the building, to come to find out that you have communications as well as OEM on the other side of the building, they have two separate systems. So the folks on one side can't pick up the phone and call the guy on the other side. You have to walk through the hall and that sort of thing.
They're incompatible to
exactly.
efficient operation.
Exactly. So, and speaking with the folks on the OEM side, they have a command center there that may need to be set up to where they need to deploy people in there and so forth. And the system that they have just was not capable of meeting their expectations to do what they want. So my recommendation is to replace the system on the 911 center side and to bring the folks on the OEM side into the same system. We can partition that system in terms so they will operate separately. But if there's a situation where the supervisor on one side needs to call the desk of the supervisor on the other, they can do that simply by dialing an extension number. It's the same system. But in terms of having the folks on one side interfere with the operation of the 911 center, they would not be able to do that. It would operate completely on its own. By joining things into one system, it's just giving you more compatibility. In addition to that, what that would allow you to do down the road is once that system is in place, it would then allow the system here to be networked to the system there, so the police department or whomever would need to call up there would be as simple as dial an extension like they were calling in our office here. So I think from an efficiency standpoint, it would just make things flow together more, or to go easier and give you a better setup. For the gentleman that was wanting to set up the command center, there's things that we can put in place that we've done with other organizations to where, if needed, they could change the programming by just uploading a different database to where he then could deploy officers or whomever he needed at those phones to take calls and so forth. So that what I put together would take all of that into effect and like I said, give you the ability down the road once the network is straightened out to kind of connect the two together.
So this would be phones for the OEM and the comm center?
Correct. The OEM, they had about 14 telephones, and the comm center has about 9 telephones. So it would be the phones and the equipment. For
now, are these technical enough phones? And we're anticipating in a few years next generation console
yes.
Up for the
comm
center. This will.
Most of those, the newer technology that's going to come out is going to be IP compatible. They're going to look for any type of connection. They're getting away from a serial or a digital type connection to an IP connection with the like, whether it's radio, 911 equipment, or whatever. And the new equipment, the same as we've put in here and what we're proposing up there, has all the ports available for those types of newer connections. So, and it would just, it's how it connects. And you wouldn't use that now based on the way it's set up now, but I'm assuming that once, you know, if you switch out the actual 911 equipment, radios and things like that, they'll have different interfaces. And the technology of communications, those interfaces are becoming IP interfaces. And so yes, those are there.
Carrie, do you have any comments or any additional comments on this?
As you recall, we recently replaced the phone system here at the courthouse and the courthouse annex. That project did go out to bid. It was much larger because of all the telephones we have here, close to 100. And Bill's bid came in $8,000 below that of the next competitor, which is why I had asked Bill to come and do a site visit at the comm center and 911 center to give us this estimate. Now, as far as funding is concerned, General County would be responsible for the portion of the phone system for OEM. Right. The 911 phone system could come out of the 911 fees. And you can request reimbursement through your ENPG grant at OEM for 50% of the portion that would cover OEM. So in essence, you would be responsible for roughly around 25%.
And I think the whole proposal was $14,864.26.
That is correct, yes. And I spoke with Bill and he did assure us that he's confident that that includes all the equipment and would not go over that amount.
And in the future we have service as well, case servicing.
Yes, and of course they service our phones here in the county, and I have
heard no relationship with them.
I have heard no complaints about our new phone system. Everyone seems to like it.
Well, with that being said, is there anything additional?
No, sir.
With that being said, is there a motion to approve the telecommunication system for application to the OEM and 911.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next appointment is about 10 minutes, so we'll do some more paperwork.
All right, my name is Debbie Anderson. I'm a program coordinator for Human Resource Development Foundation out of Morgantown. And what they are, they're a nonprofit group that, tries just to help everyone. They have housing, they have, youth. And a couple years ago, they got, after Storm Sandy, they got a grant and decided to do some stream storm cleanup. Well, it's become very, very successful. And we go through the workforce and we hire dislocated workers that haven't had a job for a while. Because if you're working, somebody's more apt to hire you than if you're laid off. And I've had like a 50% chance rate of getting guys jobs. I take them to job fairs, I do resumes, I ask everybody, anybody hire them, and if I do, I'll send them that way. And I'll read you the grant letter here. Did you guys read this, or do you want me to read it, or?
Certainly, whatever you feel comfortable.
I'm kind of nervous, I like doing all this stuff, but. Okay, this letter was written 9/4/15. Lewis, Barber, Upshur, Braxton, Webster, Putnam, Cable, Lincoln, Wayne, Kanawha, Mingo, Boone, Logan, Raleigh, McDowell, and Wyoming counties. They were all declared disaster areas in West Virginia. Human Resource Development Foundation, located in Morgantown, received notification that it had been awarded $1,893,781.
No, it's 1 million.
1 million, I'm sorry, see, I'm bad at this.
1 million.
1,899, go ahead, you say it.
$1,893,781.
Okay. In National Dislocated Worker Grant funds from the workforce. Okay, the grant will provide employment opportunities for approximately 150 dislocated workers and/or long-term unemployment individuals who will assist their communities with vital recovery efforts. Participants will receive $9.50 to $11.50 an hour, depending on the position. Each participant will receive safety training, Red Cross, CPR, first aid, OSHA trainings, valuable work experience, job search assistance, and will be provided through HRDF and the local regional workforce investment board. The recent flooding, which occurred in April, overran and devastated many streams in West Virginia. This caused major debris to be washed into various places along the rivers and streams. Efforts coordinated by each county's respective Homeland Security Emergency Management System, FEMA, and municipal governments brought immediate relief to the flood-damaged areas. With the assistance of the National Guard and the Army Corps of Engineers, the major stream obstructions and issues that were posed immediate threat were dealt with successfully. Despite efforts, large amounts of debris and trash still litter many streams and parks affected by the flooding. This debris is not only hazardous to the health of streams, but poses the risk that future storms will result in more destruction of property. This debris also needs to be properly disposed of. HRDF hopes to assist the 16 counties by helping lower the risk of this type of problem occurring again, and by increasing the overall health, beauty, and public lands. So what I'm hearing, what I'm needing is places in your county that need help. I've got 18 guys and I have 3 months for Upshur County. I've talked to the Department of OEM. And the only thing that they could give me was the Ivanhoe Bridge and the Hampton Field. And they need it done right now. And I really don't. I went to the Department of Highways to talk to them a couple times and I can't catch the guy that I need to talk to in there. And I just need your help to help me find some work. Because I'm sure there's streams in this county.
I think I would refer you to Jim Farrell.
She spoke with Jim Farrell. And I'd asked you to get in contact with the Audra State Park Superintendent.
Okay, but we need to do the streams. We've already done Audra. We did it with the Storm Sandy.
Okay.
Like, there's, some people told me there's some streams, are you got, is Sago in this area? Is it in Upshur County?
Yes, it
They
is.
said that there's some streams down there that just are terrible.
Yeah.
And I don't know that Upshur County, I just need some help, that's all.
If you go to Beans Mill, which is in southern Upshur County, you'll find some of them streams up there has
Right.
been trashed with beer bottles, cans. It has become a partying place here.
Right.
And that would be a stream, it's not a long one, but for probably a mile, mile and a half.
Right, and see, that's,
That would be a good stream
Right.
on Main that would.
but I need somebody to sit with me, take me, show me. I have to do a worksite agreement, and I have to have it in, you know, within.
The problem is
A
that
certain
we
time.
asked the
Have
sheriff
you
and
talked to city
OEM where
council?
these places are that need help, and I didn't
Because
get
I
a
know they
response.
have-
That's what I have to have.
What about the watershed, talk to,
To their attention.
Well, what I've been doing is going to the OEMs,
Smith with the
and the
watershed.
OEMs have been
West
getting
Virginia
with the
watershed.
people and giving me the
That would
streets.
be, that'd be
I'm not,
logical.
they won't help me at all.
Okay, I would,
The city won't?
No, I just went to the Office for
Okay.
Emergency Management, and I got nothing.
I'll find a number, but Burl Smith, who was active in the Cannon watershed,
Okay.
that might be, they would certainly know where the streams are, and they would probably have an idea as to where.
Because, I mean, our office is here in Buchanan, so I'd like to do a lot of work for Upshur County, and I'm sure it needs it. But nobody could give me anything.
Is there a phone number that, your office could be reached here in Buchanan?
I brought a business card to give you guys.
Okay.
And I want to help because
What
we're
is-
located here.
And what is the time frame for
1
the
year.
grant to operate? 1 year?
Yeah.
Be 1 year from?
Probably the 1st of October,
August.
yes.
Thank you.
And you might mention that to people you're talking to, because I know Gaines Mill is a nice place, used to be a lot better, it became a party, and some places in the stream is trash.
But my problem is I need the streams now.
Right,
You know how the government is, they want it yesterday.
right.
And in order for me to do the streams, I have to have them on my worksite agreement that I just laid up there, and I have to get it to them before we can do it.
I'd say Burl Smith, because of his association with the Buchanan watershed, would have an idea of the various locations. That organization would not only just Burl, but some other individuals in that association.
Now, when I mentioned,
I think
Joyce.
Joyce Harris Thacker is also affiliated with that, and we might be able to get you a number for her. She's at the Board of Education now.
But she's teaching, so I don't know
She's
if you
teaching
guys
as
want to
well.
be in touch with her.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I'll try-
mentioned to the guys up at the OEM that, you know, what about the state road? You know, we could do their grunt work, and that's what we do. We do the grunt work in the streams and let them do something more important. And my response was, well, you're taking work from them.
Well, I think the best thing to do with the state is to talk to the individuals at the DOH, because OEM doesn't have any authority over the DOH and their job sites.
But I'll get a hold of Burl Smith and give him your phone number.
Yeah, because I really want to help you guys, I do, but if I can't get any help, I can't do nothing.
Have you talked to Greg Woody at the youth camp, the number I gave you for him?
I've called both of those youth camps and nobody's ever called me back.
I think the majority of the work is in the southern end of the county. It sounds like, I know 10 Miles, another
And that's
area.
another place down from Beans Mill. And if there's any of them streams that somebody didn't want to show you where they're at, or if I can be any assistance.
I'm available, if somebody wants to help me, I
To show
will
you,
go to
you
the
know,
ends of the earth just so I can get some work here.
Well, I have no problem telling Burl where I have seen streams that
Yes,
need some
yes.
cleaned up. I'm sure he'll know where they're at. If there's anything I can do to help, I'd be more than happy to assist
Because I mean,
you.
it's a good program, it'll give, 50 or 60 guys jobs. And,
Because some of the streams that I used to go, like Beans Mill, I used to go up there and swim quite a bit.
right,
Now you go up there and they've got beer bottles busted, you're afraid to step in, places like that. I
and
mean,
we're self-sufficient, we have a van, we bring the guys, we have our own saws, we have our own water, we have our own safety equipment, we get burn permits. I mean, everything, you guys have to do nothing for us, nothing.
I'm also going to give you Terry Jo Bennett's number. She's the floodplain coordinator.
Okay. And I mean, 3 months worth of work, that, could save your county a lot of money if other people don't have to do it.
Not only that, but it makes it a better.
It'll make it
place.
look better, yes.
and the stream looks better like somebody really cares. And someplace you could take your family and maybe get in the river without worrying about stepping on a busted bottle or something. And if I can be any assistance, you're free to give me a call.
Well, after I get the streams, I need to get those like yesterday. And after I do that, I am gonna have somebody take me around so I can take some pictures, because we need to have before pictures and after. But if I could get somebody to do that, I would be the happiest girl ever.
I'll give Mr. Smith a call. I'm sure he'll contact you.
Yeah.
And he and the people affiliated with the Buchanan Watershed certainly would know where the streams are.
I mean, like, even if there's, you know, streams that go through town here that need done, or, you know.
So you're saying you need approval to get in the streams, or you
I
just
just
need to know
need
where they're at?
streams. I just need names.
So you're saying you turn those into the government, the state government, and
I
they
was turning
approve or
into the
deny?
Department of Labor, go through the workforce, goes to the Department of Labor. They okay what we do to go work.
That
And
was
they
one-
never tell me no.
That was one concern of Terry Jo Bennett about the permits that you have to get, just to make sure that those have been received. So I would wanted to give you her number so you could talk with her.
We've been doing this for 2 years and I've never, I mean, we just like I said, burn permits. We got permission from the city to work in their streams. We got permission from the counties to work in their streams. I mean, we've never had to do anything.
Well, the DNR might be another place to contact.
I think I gave you their number as well. Did you speak with them?
I think so. I've got a list of who
Their
else.
headquarters is down at the, well, it used to be called Game Farm, but it's now the Wildlife Center.
I mean, if you guys need a reference on our work and stuff,
No, no,
just
no.
talk to Ken at the game
It's
farm and
not.
he can tell you that, I mean, we worked for them probably 4 months cleaning and we built stuff for them, did trails, we did.
What's
they
that?
did a
Fiddler's
wonderful
Mill.
job.
That's only a short piece there, but there would be some trash there.
Right, even if you just have enough work for like 8 hours, you know, one day, we can do, we don't have to be somewhere a week.
At Bing's Mill, you can find
Yeah.
that, I'm sure.
I'm sorry.
Somebody to contact with Fiddler's Mill. Do you have their number?
Yeah, I don't know.
So you're talking about like 3 tops or limbs that's in the creek?
Oh, yeah, we got, the guys get waders, they get down in the creeks, they pull everything out, they clean the banks up, they stack all the brush nice, they stack the wood nice. I mean, they do a very, very, very good job.
And if you do all that, you can pretty well just hit the stream anywhere you want to.
Right, but like I said, in order for my guys to do it, I have to have the streams on paper.
And you need to see pictures of what you...
Well, they don't need the pictures right at the moment, but I need the streams now. The names of them, and like approximately how long. And you can give me a year's worth of work, I can put it down, because every grant I've ever had, they've extended it. So they might extend this one for another year. Who
Outside
knows?
of Andra, you have the West Fork River along there too, which is pretty shallow.
Right, right.
And it tends to accumulate logs and debris.
Well, I just drove around a little bit and wrote some, like the Middle Fork, and, you know, I did write a few down, but I don't even know where to begin to look. I don't live here, you know, I don't.
Well, if you have problems with having somebody to show you, which I don't think you will have, but if you do, and you need to know where some of them streams are or whatever,
Yeah.
and you can't find them, I'm sure that I can arrange. You all made for you to see where the
Alright.
stream, some of the streams are at.
Yeah, we have our offices up at the mansion, at the old Union Drilling building, is where we got our office now, so. Has a big parking lot, perfect for the guys to park, keep the vans there. So it turned out to be the ideal situation for me. So, made me very happy.
Thank you.
Thank you very
But
much.
yeah, and I mean, if you guys have any questions, I mean, anything, just call me. I might not be available right at the moment, but I will call you back.
Just leave a message. But
Yes.
if you're not there, and you'll get back to us, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, it's got my email on it too, doesn't it?
Yeah, he Anderson.
Okay, okay. Yeah, but any help I can get, I mean, I just want, and I've got like probably 5 guys from Buchanan hired. I think there's 5 from Buchanan, 5 from Barber County, 4 or 5 from Lewis County, a couple from Madison County. So I've tried to hire, you know, a couple guys in each county. Webster's the only one that I haven't, because it's just not worth them to drive up here. You know, hour and.
And plus, they had quite a bit of damage down there in recent flood.
Yeah, we're gonna help them quite a bit with, you know, a lot of the areas.
Cable Channel project, he was wanting some,
That's the Hampton Avenue project, but they need it done right away. Before Dominion comes in October. Because all
Okay.
that brush hogging has to be done before Dominion comes for volunteer day, because they're putting down all the concrete.
That's at the Ivanhoe Bridge or that field. My crew's gonna be starting work Tuesday. If I can get some streams together on my paper, we can come and work Tuesday.
Can you let Buck at OEM know that?
Yes, I will call Buck this afternoon, yes. Because he did call me last week and I said, Buck, I just don't know, you know, I don't know, I gotta get string, I gotta get your county stuff together before I can start on anything. So, yeah, I will call Buck and, you know, if you guys can direct me, somebody to give me some names. You know, we've got a year to work on you, and we can, if there's any other places that you need to add, we can amend it, so.
Thank you.
But they just want something to begin, so, and I thank you guys.
Thank you.
thank you.